Hey everyone, tonight we're kicking things off with a question that'll make you sit up in bed. 5,000 Roman soldiers, the unbeatable warriors of the Ninth Legion, vanished without a trace in the wilds of Caledonia. Where did they go? Slaughtered, cursed, or swallowed by the fog? Let's dive into this dramatic, chilling, and mysterious story right now. Before you snuggle into your blanket, hit that like button and drop a comment telling us where you're watching from and what time it is there. It's so cool to know who's joining us from all over the world. Picture this. You wake up in the biting dark, your body shivering from a cold that sinks into your bones. No Bluetooth speaker blaring your favorite tune. No hot coffee to chase away the grogginess. Instead, you're lying on a thin, threadbare blanket spread over hard dirt inside a tattered canvas tent. The smell of smoke from the campfire stings your nose, mixing with the stench of sweat, leather, and something sharper, dried blood, maybe caked on your boots from last week's skirmish. Outside, the northern wind howls through the forest, carrying the distant wail of wolves, like they're laughing at you. Your head throbs, not just from the cold, but from the war drums pounding in the camp, signaling another day at the edge of the world. Welcome to Caledonia 120 CE, where the Ninth Legion of Rome is stationed, and where, if the rumors are true, no one comes back. You're a tyro, a fresh recruit in the Legio IX Hispana, a storied legion that's conquered half of Britannia. But right now you don't feel storied. Your iron armor weighs heavy on your shoulders, chafing your skin with every move, and your sodden sandals leave your feet numb. You crawl out of the tent, the campfire's flickering light barely cutting through the thick fog that cloaks everything in a ghostly haze. The camp is a maze of canvas tents, supply carts, and weary soldiers, their faces gray under layers of dirt and dried blood. You hear the centurion, a grizzled commander of 100 men, barking at a soldier for dropping his shield. "You idiot want to die at the hands of those savages," he roars, and you shiver, unsure if it's the cold or that word, savages. Caledonia's nothing like you've ever seen. No stone-paved roads of Rome, no gleaming temples or roaring arenas. Just forest, swamp, and fog. Fog so thick you can taste it, damp and bitter like ash. The Celtic tribes here, the Caledonians, don't fight like normal armies. They slink through the shadows, strike, and vanish, leaving headless corpses and whispers of druid magic. You've heard tales of the Ninth Legion, their legendary victories. But today, the camp is thick with tension. Something's off. Rumors spread like wildfire. The Legion's about to march deep into the forest to crush a rebellion. But no one's saying much, and the eyes of the veteran soldiers, guys who survived Boudicca's revolt, are cold as ice. You weave through the camp, dodging a muddy puddle, and pause at the central fire pit. The smell of scorched meat mixes with the sour tang of cheap wine, the kind Roman soldiers gulp to forget the cold. A scarred Gaul mercenary, faced like a cracked leather map, is spinning stories. His name's Marcus, his voice gravelly, and you don't like how he looks at you, like he knows you're not long for this world. "The Caledonians aren't just men," he murmurs, his eyes glinting in the firelight. "They've got druids, crazy old men weaving spells in the woods. They call the darkness, and the darkness answers." You want to laugh, tell him to shut up, but something in his tone sends a chill down your spine, like getting a creepy text at midnight and feeling your back go cold. You turn away, trying to ignore Marcus, but then you spot an iron cage nearby, holding a Caledonian prisoner. He's young, red hair a tangled mess, his face smeared with strange blue tattoos. He stares at you, eyes sharp like a predator's, and flashes a smile that makes you want to bolt. "You don't belong here," he says in broken Latin, his voice raspy. "The forest will swallow you, like it swallowed others." You want to ask what he means, but the centurion yells for you to get back in line, and you scramble off, your heart pounding. The prisoner's words stick to you, like a song you can't unhear, and you start to wonder, could the Ninth Legion, 5,000 strong, really vanish? And if so, what's waiting out there in the woods? Let's back up a bit. Rome was a war machine, and its legions were its beating heart. The Ninth Legion was a symbol of strength, carving paths through rebels and building fortresses that still stand in York. But in Caledonia, things were different. The land itself was an enemy. Swamps that sucked your boots, fog that blinded, winters that killed. The Caledonians, with their guerrilla tactics, didn't play fair. They melted into the trees, struck, and vanished, leaving only fear. Later historians, like Tacitus, wrote about Rome's struggles in Britannia, but they're cagey about the Ninth's fate. Some say they were slaughtered by Caledonians in a battle never recorded. Others claim they got lost in the swamps, dying of hunger and cold. There's even talk that Rome, ashamed of defeat, erased their name from history. But no bones, no armor, no banners, just silence. Modern archaeologists, digging in York and Scotland, found a few bricks stamped with Legio 9, but nothing to explain 5,000 men disappearing. Feel that frustration? Like searching for a crucial file, but it's like it never existed. Now you're standing in formation, your armor chafing your shoulders, as the centurion orders the march to begin. The sun rises, but the fog doesn't lift, cloaking the camp in a gray veil. You hear horses whinny, shields clank, and soldiers whisper about a Celtic temple deep in the forest, where druids perform blood rites. Marcus, the Gaul, stands nearby, chewing a blade of grass, his eyes distant. "Don't go near that temple," he says, his voice so low you strain to hear. There's something in the woods, not man, not beast. You want to press him, but the war horn blares, and the legion moves, their footsteps a unified thud, like the pulse of a giant beast. You march, your boots sinking into mud, the cold seeping through your cloak. The Caledonian forest looms ahead, its trees black and jagged, their branches sharp like they want to cut you. The fog coils around, the smell of wet leaves and earth filling your nose. You hear a sound, not wind, not animal, but a low whisper, steady and rhythmic like a prayer. The soldiers around you fall silent, their hands gripping swords, and you feel a chill, not just from the weather. The Ninth Legion is marching into darkness, and you know deep down, not everyone's coming back. But then, a question slices through, sharp as a blade. If an entire legion can vanish, do you have the wits to survive, or will you be the first the forest claims? The forest of Caledonia closes around you like a fist, its gnarled trees looming through the fog, their branches clawing at the gray sky. Your boots sink into the muck with every step, the cold mud seeping through the leather, numbing your toes. The air smells of wet earth and rotting leaves, sharp with a bitter tang, like something died nearby, and the forest is hiding it. Your armor chafes at your shoulders, the iron plates clanking softly as you march with the Ninth Legion, one of 5,000 souls trudging into the unknown. The rhythmic thud of boots and the creak of supply carts fill the air, but there's something else, a low, pulsing hum, like a chant, weaving through the fog. It's not your imagination. You see the other soldiers tense, their hands tightening on sword hilts. The memory of the Caledonian prisoner's words, "The forest will swallow you," sits heavy in your gut, and you wonder if you're already too deep to turn back. You're still a tyro, a raw recruit in the Legio 9 Hispana, and the weight of that title feels like a stone around your neck. The centurion's bellows echo from the front, urging the column forward, but his voice is swallowed by the fog, making him sound distant, almost ghostly. You glance at Marcus, the scarred Gaul mercenary, marching beside you. His face is unreadable, but his eyes dart to the trees, like he's expecting something to lunge out. "Keep your eyes sharp," he mutters, spitting into the mud. "This ain't a place for daydreaming." You want to snap back, to tell him you're not some soft city boy, but the truth is, you're scared. The forest feels alive, watching, and every rustle in the underbrush makes your heart lurch. Ever get that feeling when you're walking alone and hear a twig snap behind you? That's you now, except it's not a stray cat. It might be a Celt with a spear or something worse. The column slows, the men ahead bunching up, and you strain to see why. The fog is thicker here, curling around the trees like smoke, and the air grows colder, your breath visible in short, sharp puffs. You hear whispers among the soldiers, nervous, clipped Latin about bad omens and druid tricks. Someone mentions the temple, that rumored Celt sanctuary deep in the woods, where the Legion is headed to crush a rebellion. You remember Marcus's warning about staying away, and the prisoner's eerie smile. Your hand brushes the gladius at your hip, its weight reassuring, but not enough to shake the chill creeping up your spine. The Legion's supposed to be invincible, a machine of Rome's will, but out here, in this endless green maze, you're starting to doubt that. You push forward, stepping over a gnarled root, and nearly collide with a soldier who's stopped dead. He's staring at something on the ground, a crude carving in the mud, a spiral with jagged lines radiating out like a sun or an eye. It's fresh, the edges still wet, and you feel a jolt like you've seen it before, maybe in a nightmare. Celt nonsense, the soldier mutters, but his voice shakes, and he kicks dirt over it, erasing it. You want to ask what it means, but Marcus grabs your arm, his grip hard. Don't look at it too long, he says, his voice low. They leave those to mess with your head. You nod, but the image lingers, burned into your mind, and you can't shake the feeling that it's watching you even now. Let's step back for a moment. The 9th Legion was no stranger to war. They'd faced Boudicca's hordes, cut through rebels like wheat, and built fortresses that still stand in York. But Caledonia's different. The land itself is an enemy, swamps that suck at your boots, fog that blinds, and winters that kill. The Caledonians, with their painted faces and guerrilla tactics, don't fight fair. They melt into the trees, strike, and vanish, leaving only screams and blood. Historians like Tacitus wrote of Rome's struggles here, but they're vague about the 9th's fate. Some say they were ambushed, their bodies left to rot in some forgotten glen. Others whisper of darker things, druid rituals, blood sacrifices, curses that made men disappear. Modern archaeologists have found nothing, no mass graves, no shattered shields, just silence. You feel that weight, don't you? Like when you lose something important and can't even guess where it went. Back in the march, the column starts moving again, but the mood sour. The fog muffles sound, making the Legion feel smaller, like the forest is swallowing it piece by piece. You hear a shout from the rear, sharp and panicked, and the line halts. Soldiers crane their necks, muttering, and you catch fragments, scouts missing, no tracks. Your stomach twists. Scouts don't just vanish, not in a Legion this size. You glance at Marcus, hoping for some grizzled wisdom, but he's staring into the fog, his jaw tight. They're playing with us, he says, almost to himself. Like wolves circling a deer. You want to ask who they are, but a horn blares, and the centurion's voice cuts through, ordering silence. The march resumes, but you feel eyes on you, not from the men, but from the trees. You're passing a clearing now, or what's left of it. The ground is churned, like a battle happened here, and you spot something glinting in the mud. A Roman dagger, its blade snapped. You bend to pick it up, but Marcus yanks you back. Don't touch it, he hisses. Could be bait. You freeze, realizing he's right. Celts love traps, luring men with shiny things before striking. But the dagger's not alone. You see more signs, a broken sandal, a shred of red cloak, a smear of blood on a tree. Your throat tightens. This isn't random, it's a message. The Legion's not just marching into a fight, it's being hunted. You keep moving, the forest pressing closer, the fog so thick you can barely see the man in front of you. The hum is louder now, not just a sound but a vibration, thrumming through the ground, up your legs, into your chest. It's not Latin, not any language, but it feels alive, like a prayer or a curse. You think of the Druids, the Celt priests Marcus mentioned, said to wield powers Rome can't fathom. You've heard stories, men driven mad by whispers, forests that move, blood that boils without a wound. You want to dismiss it as barbarian nonsense, but out here, with the fog choking your lungs and the hum clawing at your mind, it's hard to be sure. The column stops again, and this time, the silence is worse than the shouts. You hear the centurion arguing with another officer, their voices low but tense. "We're off course," one says. "The map's useless in this fog." You feel a pang of dread. The legion's lost or close to it, and the temple, their supposed target, is nowhere in sight. You glance at the trees, half expecting to see painted faces, but there's only fog and shadow. Then you notice Marcus, kneeling, his hand brushing the ground. He stands, his face pale, and shows you his fingers, covered in ash, fresh and black. "They burned something here," he says. "Not long ago." Your mind flashes to the prisoner's words, the spiral in the mud, the missing scout. A ritual? A sacrifice? You don't want to know, but you have to. You step closer to Marcus, keeping your voice low. "What's out there?" you ask, hating how young you sound. He doesn't answer right away, just stares into the fog, like he's seeing something you can't. "You ever feel like you're being watched, but no one's there?" he says finally. "That's this place. It's not just the Celts. It's the forest. It's something else." You want to laugh, to call him paranoid, but then you hear it. A scream, sharp and human, cut off too soon. It's not from the column, but from the trees deep in the fog. The men around you freeze, swords half drawn, and the centurion barks for silence. But it's too late. The hum spikes louder, faster, and you swear you see movement, a shadow, long and lean, darting between the trees. Your hand grips your gladius, the leather hilt slick with sweat. The legion's supposed to be unbreakable, a wall of iron and discipline. But out here, you're just men, and men can die. You think of the Ninth's legacy, the stories of their triumphs, and the silence that followed their name. 5,000 souls, gone without a trace. You feel it now, the weight of that mystery, like a hand on your shoulder, pulling you toward the dark. The scream doesn't come again, but the hum does, relentless, and you realize it's not just a sound. It's a call, beckoning you deeper. Marcus grabs your arm, his eyes hard. "Stay close," he says, "or you're next." And as the legion stumbles forward, the fog tightening its grip, a question slices through, cold as a blade. If the forest can swallow an entire legion, what chance do you have? Or is it already too late to run? You're still here with me, right? If you're vibing with this so far, drop a question in the comments. I'm dying to know what's going through your head right now. And now, let's keep this journey rolling together. The fog in Caledonia's forest is a living thing, curling around you like a serpent. Its damp tendrils seeping into your lungs with every ragged breath. Your boots slog through the mud, each step a battle against the sucking earth, and the cold bites at your exposed skin, turning your fingers numb beneath the weight of your gladius. The air reeks of wet decay, rotting leaves, sour mud, and something sharper, like blood left to fester. The Ninth Legion trudges on, a column of 5,000 men reduced to shadows in the mist, their armor clanking in a rhythm that feels more like a funeral march than a war drum. That scream, sharp, human, and gone too soon, still echoes in your skull, and the hum, that eerie chant from the trees, pulses louder, syncing with your heartbeat. You're a tyro, a raw recruit in the Legio IX Hispana, and the forest is closing in, its branches whispering secrets you're not sure you want to hear. Marcus, the scarred Gaul mercenary, sticks close, his warning, stay close or you're next, hanging heavy, like a blade over your neck. You grip your sword tighter, the leather hilt slick with sweat, and scan the fog for that shadow you saw darting between the trees. Nothing, just mist and gnarled trunks, their bark twisted into shapes that look too much like faces. The Legion's pace is sluggish, the men's eyes darting, their breaths short and sharp. The Centurion's voice barks from somewhere ahead, ordering the column to tighten ranks, but it's strained, like he's trying to convince himself as much as the men. You catch Marcus's gaze, hoping for some hint of reassurance, but his face is grim, his hand resting on his dagger like he expects trouble any second. "Don't trust the quiet," he mutters, spitting into the mud. "It's when they strike. You don't need to ask who they are, the Caledonians with their painted faces and silent spears, or something worse, something tied to that hum, that spiral in the mud, that scream." The column veers left, following a narrow path barely wide enough for the supply carts. The trees press closer, their branches scraping your armor, and the fog thickens, swallowing the men ahead until they're just silhouettes. You hear a low murmur from the ranks, soldiers whispering about the missing scout, about the temple they're supposed to find, about rumors of druid rituals that make men vanish. You think of the prisoner back at camp, his red hair and eerie smile, his words about the forest swallowing you. Your stomach churns, not just from fear, but from the weight of your rations, untouched since dawn. You're hungry, but the thought of eating in this place, with that hum vibrating through the air, makes you gag. You step over a fallen log, its surface slick with moss, and nearly slip, catching yourself on a tree. The bark is rough, sticky with sap, and you pull your hand back, wincing as it leaves a red smear on your palm. Not sap, blood, fresh and warm. Your heart lurches, and you look up, squinting through the fog. There, nailed to the trunk, is a Roman helmet, its crest torn, its metal dented. Your breath catches. It's one of yours, from the 9th, and it wasn't here a moment ago. You spin, expecting a painted warrior to leap from the mist, but there's only the Legion, oblivious, marching on. Marcus grabs your shoulder, his grip bruising. "Keep moving," he hisses. Looking makes it worse. You want to argue, to scream that someone's dead, but his eyes, hard, haunted, silence you. You wipe the blood on your cloak and hurry to catch up, the helmet's empty gaze burning into your back. Let's pause for a second. The 9th Legion was Rome's fist, a machine of iron and discipline, but Caledonia broke machines. The land was a nightmare, swamps, forests, fog that turned maps into lies. The Caledonians didn't fight like civilized armies. They were ghosts, striking from shadows, leaving only fear. Historians like Tacitus hint at Rome's struggles here, but the 9th's fate is a blank page. Some say they were ambushed, their bodies scattered across a glen. Others claim they starved, lost in the wild. A few whisper of druid magic, rituals that made men disappear. Modern archaeologists have scoured Scotland, finding only fragments, tiles, coins, nothing to explain 5,000 missing souls. You feel that void, don't you? Like when your group chat goes silent and you know something's wrong, but no one's saying what. Back in the forest, the Legion halts, the sudden stop jarring you forward. You nearly crash into the man in front, his shield rattling as he turns, eyes wide. "What's that?" he whispers, pointing into the fog. You squint, your pulse spiking, and see it, a flicker of movement, low and fast, like a wolf, but too big. The hum surges louder, its rhythm jagged, and you swear you hear words, not Latin, not anything human. The Centurion shouts for silence, but his voice cracks, and you realize he's seen it too. The men draw swords, their blades glinting dully in the mist, and you follow suit, your hand shaking. The shadow moves again, circling, and you catch a glimpse. Eyes bright and unblinking, not animal, not man. Your mouth goes dry. And you think of Marcus's stories, the druids calling something else from the forest. Marcus pulls you down, crouching behind a fallen tree. "Don't look at it," he says, his voice barely a whisper. "It's not here to fight. It's here to watch." You want to ask what he means, but the shadow vanishes, and the hum softens, like it's mocking you. The centurion orders the column to move, his voice hoarse, and you stand, your legs wobbly. The men are quiet now, their bravado gone, and you notice something, fewer faces than before. You count the men around you, your heart sinking. 2 are missing, maybe 3, and no one saying anything. Ever lose someone in a crowd and feel that sick panic, knowing they're gone? That's you, except the crowd's a legion, and the forest is eating them alive. You march on, the path narrowing, the trees so dense they block what little light remains. The fog clings to your skin, cold and greasy, and the hum is constant now, a drone that makes your head throb. You see more signs, another spiral scratched into a tree, a broken arrow with Roman fletching, a smear of blood on a rock. Each one feels like a warning, but the legion keeps moving, driven by the centurion's orders and Rome's stubborn pride. You think of the temple, the supposed goal of this march. The officers said it's a rebel stronghold, a place to crush the Caledonians, but Marcus's words about staying away, about something else, make it out. What if the temple's not a target, but a trap? You're passing a stream now. It's water black and sluggish, reflecting the fog like a mirror. You pause to splash your face, hoping the cold will clear your head, but the water smells wrong, metallic, like iron or blood. You pull back, your reflection distorted, and for a moment you see something else. Eyes not yours, staring from the depths. You scramble away, heart pounding, and Marcus grabs you, his face pale. "Told you not to look," he says, but there's no smugness, only fear. You want to ask what he knows, what he's hiding, but a shout from the front cuts you off. The column stopped again, and this time, it's not a shadow or a sign, it's a body. You push forward, ignoring Marcus's hissed warning, and see it, a Roman soldier sprawled in the mud, his throat slashed, his eyes wide and empty, his shield's gone, his sword still in its sheath, like he never had a chance. The men around him are silent, their faces gray, and you realize he's one of the missing, until you see his hand, clutching a scrap of cloth, dyed blue with woad, the mark of the Caledonians. Your stomach twists. This wasn't an ambush. It was deliberate, a message. The centurion kneels, his face unreadable, and mutters something about barbarian filth, but you see his hand shake. He orders the body covered, but you can't look away. The soldier's eyes locked on yours, like he's begging you to run. The legion moves again, faster now, as if speed can outrun fear. The fog thickens, the hum louder, and you feel it, a presence, not behind you but all around, in the trees, the air, the ground. You think of the Ninth's legacy, the stories of their strength, and the silence that followed. 5,000 men, gone without a trace, and you're walking their path, stepping into their grave. Marcus stays close, his dagger drawn, and you notice he's muttering something, not Latin, maybe Gaulish, like a prayer. You want to ask, to demand answers, but then you see it, a structure, half hidden in the fog. Its stones black and jagged, like teeth. The temple. Your heart stops, and a question cuts through, sharp as a spear. If the forest is a hunter, and the temple its lair, do you keep marching, or do you turn back, knowing the shadows are already closing in? The fog in Caledonia's forest clings to you like a second skin, its damp chill seeping through your tunic and armor, making every movement feel like wading through mud. Your breath comes in short, sharp gasps, visible in the icy air, and the smell of rotting leaves and blood, fresh, coppery, from the dead soldier you just saw, hangs heavy, choking your throat. The Ninth Legion trudges forward, their boots squelching in the mire, but the rhythm is uneven, faltering, like a heartbeat skipping. The black stone structure looms ahead, half swallowed by the mist. Its jagged outline less like a temple and more like a wound in the forest. The hum, that relentless chant weaving through the trees, is louder now, vibrating in your chest. And you swear it's calling you, not the Legion, not Rome, but you. Your gladius feels heavy at your hip, useless against the weight of the unseen eyes watching from the fog. Marcus, the Gaul mercenary, stays close, his dagger drawn, his muttered prayers barely audible over the creak of armor and the Legion's ragged march. The body of that soldier, throat slashed, clutching Caledonian cloth, burns in your mind. And you know deep in your gut that the temple isn't a destination. It's a trap. You're a tyro, a raw recruit in the Legio 9 Hispana, and the forest is stripping away what little courage you had. The centurion's voice, hoarse and fraying, barks orders to tighten the line, but the men are sluggish, their eyes darting to the trees, where shadows flicker and vanish. You glance at Marcus, his scarred face set in a grimace, and notice his hand trembling, just slightly, on his dagger's hilt. "Don't stop," he says, not looking at you, his voice low and rough. You stop, you're dead. You want to snap back, to demand what he knows, but the memory of the spiral in the mud, the blood-smeared helmet, the soldier's empty eyes, keeps your mouth shut. The Legion's supposed to be Rome's unbreakable fist, but out here, in this fog-choked wilderness, you're just meat, and the forest is hungry. The path to the temple narrows, the trees pressing so close their branches snag your cloak, tugging like fingers. The ground is uneven, littered with roots and stones, and you stumble, catching yourself on a trunk. It's slick not with sap, but with something warm. More blood, smeared in a crude pattern, another spiral. Your stomach lurches, and you pull back, wiping your hand on your tunic. But the sticky warmth lingers, like the forest is marking you. You hear a low murmur from the men behind, a mix of curses and prayers, and realize you're not the only one seeing signs. A broken shield lies half buried in the mud, its Roman eagle scratched out, replaced by jagged lines. A sandal, laces cut, dangles from a branch. Each mark feels personal, like the Caledonians, or whatever's out there, know you're coming. You force yourself to move, staying close to Marcus, whose muttering has stopped, replaced by a tense silence. The hum is deafening now, not just a sound but a pressure squeezing your skull, making your vision blur. You think of the prisoner's words, "The forest will swallow you," and the druid stories Marcus told, about rituals that twist men's minds, make them walk into the dark and never return. You want to dismiss it, to cling to Rome's logic, but the fog, the signs, the hum, they're real, and they're pulling you toward that temple like a noose tightening. Ever get that sinking feeling when you know you're walking into a bad situation, like a meeting where everyone's already pissed, but you can't turn back? That's you, except the meeting's a slaughter, and the forest is taking bets on how long you'll last. The Legion slows, the column bunching up as the temple comes into view. It's not grand like Rome's marble shrines, but squat and brutal, built from black stones that seem to drink the light. Its entrance is a gaping maw, flanked by crude pillars carved with spirals and eyes, their gaze boring into you. The fog swirls around it, thinner here, as if the temple repels it, and you see more details, bones small and scattered, littering the ground, a rusted sword, not Roman, driven into a stone, and ash, heaps of it, still warm, like something was burned hours ago. Your mouth goes dry, and you think of Marcus's ash-covered fingers, his warning about a recent fire. A sacrifice? A signal? You don't know, but the hum is coming from inside, low and rhythmic, like a heartbeat from the earth. The centurion halts the column, his face pale under his helmet, and you hear him arguing with another officer, their voices sharp but hushed. "We can't go in blind," the officer says, gesturing at the temple. "It's a death trap." The centurion snaps back, something about Rome's honor, but you catch the fear in his eyes, the same fear you saw when he found the dead soldier. The men shift uneasily, their shields raised, and you notice more gaps in the ranks. Another man gone, maybe two, vanished in the fog without a sound. You look to Marcus, hoping for some grizzled advice, but he's staring at the temple, his dagger clutched like a talisman. "They're waiting," he says, so quiet you almost miss it. Inside. You want to ask who, but a shout from the rear cuts you off, a scout running from the fog, his face bloodied, his eyes wild. "They're behind us," he gasps, collapsing into the mud. Hundreds painted, not human. The centurion grabs him, demanding details, but the scout's babbling. Something about shadows that move without sound, eyes that burn in the dark. Your heart pounds, and you scan the fog, expecting painted warriors to surge forward. But there's nothing, just the hum, louder, mocking. The centurion orders a defensive line, shields locking with a metallic clank, and you fall into place, your gladius drawn, its blade trembling in your hand. The fog swirls, and you swear you see shapes, lean, fast, gone before you can blink. Marcus pulls you back, his voice urgent. "Don't fight what you can't see," he says, dragging you toward the temple's entrance. "We need cover." You resist the idea of entering that black maw terrifying, but the scout's words, not human, push you forward. The legion splitting, some forming a shield wall, others scattering, their discipline crumbling. You hear a scream, then another from the rear, and the clash of steel, brief and frantic, before silence. Your blood runs cold. The Caledonians are here or something is, and it's picking you off like wolves on a wounded stag. You stumble after Marcus, the temple stones looming, their carved eyes seeming to follow you. Inside, the air changes, warmer, heavier, thick with the smell of ash and something sweeter, like overripe fruit or decay. The hum is overwhelming, echoing off the walls, and you realize it's not a chant but a drone, like 1,000 voices trapped in stone. The entrance narrows, forcing you to duck, and the light from outside fades, leaving you in near darkness. Marcus moves ahead, his dagger catching faint glints from somewhere deeper in. You follow, your boots scraping on uneven stone, and notice the walls, covered in spirals, eyes, and crude figures, some human, some not. Your skin crawls, and you think of the Druid stories, their rituals of blood and shadow. Is this their temple, or something older, something Rome was never meant to touch? You reach a wider chamber, the hum so loud it makes your teeth ache. A faint glow comes from the center, a pile of embers still smoldering, surrounded by bones and charred cloth. You gag, the sweet decay smell choking you, and step closer, unable to look away. The bones aren't all animal, some are human, their shapes too familiar, fingers, skulls, a jaw with teeth still intact. Marcus curses, his voice shaking, and you realize he's seen this before or something like it. "They burned them," he says, kicking at the embers. "Not us. Their own." You want to ask why, but a sound stops you, a low, guttural growl, not from the entrance, but from deeper in the temple, where the glow doesn't reach. Your heart stops, and you grip your gladius, its weight no comfort now. The growl isn't human, isn't animal, but something else, something tied to the hum, the spirals, the eyes. Marcus grabs your arm, pulling you back, his eyes wide. "Don't move," he whispers, his dagger raised. "It's not alone." You strain to see, your vision swimming in the dark, and catch a flicker. Eyes not burning, but cold, glinting like wet stone, watching from the shadows. The growl comes again, closer, and you feel it, a pressure in the air, like the temple is breathing, waiting. You think of the Ninth's fate, the 5,000 men who vanished, and the silence that followed. Were they here, in this place, facing this thing? Did they fight, or did they run only to be swallowed? The Legion screams echo from outside, fainter now. like the fog is eating them too. You're trapped, the temple a cage, the forest a hunter. The growl shifts, circling, and you realize it's not just one. There's another, softer, behind you. Your blood freezes, and you think of the prisoner, his smile, his warning. The hum spikes, the air thick with ashen fear, and you know you're not just in a temple. You're in a grave, and it's not empty. Did the Caledonians lure the ninth year, or did something older, something worse call them? And as the eyes in the dark move closer, they're cold like pinning you. Do you stand and fight, or do you run, knowing the temple's shadows are already inside you? The air in the Blackstone Temple is suffocating, thick with a stench of ash, and that cloying, sweet decay that sticks to your throat like tar. Your heart hammers, each beat a frantic plea to run, but your legs are frozen, rooted to the uneven stone floor. The growl, low guttural, not human, echoes from the shadows, joined by a second, softer snarl behind you, pinning you in a vice of sound. The faint glow from the smoldering embers in the chamber's center casts jagged shadows, twisting the carved spirals and eyes on the walls into living things, watching, waiting. Your gladius trembles in your hand, its blade useless against the cold. Glinting eyes moving closer, their light not warm but icy, like stars drowned in a swamp. Marcus, the Gaul mercenary, stands rigid beside you, his dagger raised, his breath shallow and sharp. The hum, that relentless drone of unseen voices, pulses through the temple, vibrating in your bones, whispering words you can't understand but feel, words that taste of blood and earth. You're a tyro, a raw recruit in the 9th Legion, and the screams of your comrades outside, now faint, tell you the forest is winning. The temple isn't a refuge, it's a mouth, and you're already half swallowed. You force a breath, the air stinging your lungs, and shift your weight, the scrape of your boots on stone deafening in the tense silence. The eyes in the dark pause, their glow steady, and you feel their gaze, not just seeing you, but knowing you, peeling back your fear like skin. Marcus hisses, barely audible. Don't look at them. Look at the ground. You want to argue, to demand why, but the memory of the dead soldier, throat slashed, clutching woe-dyed cloth, flashes in your mind, and you obey, dropping your eyes to the floor. The stone is slick, streaked with ash and something darker, maybe blood, and you notice faint scratches, more spirals, etched in frantic, uneven lines, like someone clawed them in their final moments. Your stomach churns, and you think of the bones by the embers, human and charred, burned not by Romans, but by the Caledonians themselves. A sacrifice? A warning? You don't know, but the growl shifts, closer now, and you realize you're running out of time. You step back, your boots splashing in a shallow puddle, and the sound is a betrayal, sharp and loud. The eyes move fast, their light flickering as they dart to your left, then right, circling like wolves. Marcus grabs your arm, his grip bruising, and pulls you toward a narrow passage branching off the chamber, its mouth barely visible in the ember's glow. Move, he says, his voice a growl of its own, and you stumble after him, your gladius scraping the wall. The passage is tight, forcing you to hunch, and the air grows colder, the sweet decay smell fading, replaced by a damp, earthy reek, like a grave freshly dug. The hum follows, softer but relentless, and you feel it in your teeth, your skull, urging you deeper into the temple's belly. Ever have that moment when you know you're making a bad choice, like clicking a shady link, but you're too far in to stop? That's you, fleeing one danger only to plunge into another. The passage twists, the walls closing in, their carving sharper now, snakes, eyes, and figures with too many limbs, their forms blurring in the dark. Your shoulder brushes one, and it's slick, not with water, but with something warm, sticky, like the blood on the tree outside. You flinch, your heart lurching, and Marcus snaps. Keep going, Tyro, or you're meat. You want to scream at him, to demand what he's hiding, but the growl comes again, not from behind, but ahead. low and steady, like it's waiting. You freeze, your breath hitching, and Marcus curses, his dagger catching a faint glint from somewhere deeper in. There's light ahead, not the embers red, but a cold, bluish glow, pulsing like a heartbeat. Your skin crawls, and you think of the Druid stories, their rituals of shadow and blood, whispered by Marcus back at camp. Is this their work or something older? Something the Caledonians fear as much as you? You force yourself forward, the passage widening, the glow growing stronger. The growl fades, but the hum spikes, its rhythm jagged, like a chant breaking apart. You emerge into a larger chamber, and your breath catches. The walls are smooth, polished black stone, reflecting the blue glow from a shallow pool in the center, its surface unnaturally still, like glass. The water shimmers not from any visible source, but as if lit from within, casting eerie patterns on the ceiling, spirals, eyes, and stars, moving like they're alive. The air is warmer here, thick with a new smell, incense, sharp and floral, mixed with the metallic tang of blood. You gag, covering your mouth, and notice the floor. Mosaic tiles, cracked but intricate, depicting warriors, not Roman but Celt, their faces painted, their spears raised to a sky of carved flames. Marcus stops, his dagger lowered, his eyes fixed on the pool. "This is it," he says, his voice barely a whisper. "Their sanctum." You want to ask what he means, but the words die in your throat. The pool draws you, its glow hypnotic, and you step closer, your boots silent on the mosaic. The water is clear, impossibly so, and you see shapes beneath, bones, weapons, and something else, a glint of gold, maybe a torque or a crown. Your reflection stares back, distorted, and for a moment you see another face, not yours, but older, painted with woad, eyes burning with a fire that's not human. You jerk back, heart pounding, and Marcus grabs you, his face pale. "Don't look too long," he says, his voice shaking. It sees you. You stumble away, the hum deafening, the chant now a scream in your mind. You think of the Ninth's fate, the 5,000 men who vanished, and the stories of Druid magic, curses that make men walk into the dark. Is this where they went, drawn to this pool, this glow, this temple? You think of the historians, their vague accounts, and the archaeologists, their fruitless digs in Scotland's glens. They found tiles, coins, but no graves, no answers. Standing here, you feel it, the weight of that silence, the pull of a secret Rome couldn't conquer. The pool's glow pulses, and you realize it's not just light. It's a call, a lure, like the hum, beckoning you to step closer, to touch the water, to see what lies beneath. A sound breaks your trance, a low, scraping rasp, not from the pool, but from a passage you came through. You spin, your gladius raised, and see nothing, just darkness, but the air shifts, heavier, like something's breathing. Marcus tenses, his dagger glinting, and you hear it again, the growl, soft but closer, joined by a faint splash, like claws in water. Your blood freezes. The eyes, the shadows, they followed you. Or maybe they were always here, waiting. You back away toward the pool, its glow warm against your skin, and Marcus hisses, "Don't touch it, Tyro. It's not water." You want to ask what it is, but the growl spikes, a snarl now, and you see them, eyes cold and glinting, emerging from the passage, not one pair but three, moving in unison. You raise your sword, its blade trembling, and Marcus steps in front of you, his dagger steady, but his face gray. "Run," he says, his voice flat, like he knows it's useless. You glance at the pool, its glow brighter, the shapes beneath clearer, bones, yes, but also armor, Roman armor, glinting like it's new. Your heart stops. The Ninth, or some of them, are here under the water, and you realize the pool isn't a trap. It's a tomb, a shrine, a mouth that's already fed. The growl comes again, and you see the shadows fully now, lean, sinuous, not wolves, not men, but something else, their forms shifting in the glow, their eyes locked on you. You think of the prisoner's smile, the spirals, the blood. Did the Caledonians summon these things, or did they wake them, disturbing something older than Rome? You turn to run, but the passage is gone, the walls smooth, no exit, like the temple's reshaped itself. Panic claws at your chest, and you stumble, your boot slipping on the mosaic, the tiles warm, almost alive. The hum is everywhere, the chant a roar, and you feel it, a presence, not the shadows but something deeper, in the pool, in the air, in you. Marcus swings his dagger, shouting something in Gaulish, a prayer or a curse, and the shadows lunge, their growls shaking the stone. You swing your gladius, wild, desperate, and feel a connect. But there's no blood, no cry, just a hiss, like cutting fog. The glow flares, blinding, and you fall, the pool's edge inches away. It's water calling, promising answers, promising eternity. You crawl back, your hands slick with sweat, and see Marcus, still fighting, his dagger flashing. But he's slowing, his eyes wide with something beyond fear. The shadows circle, their eyes burning, and you realize they're not attacking. They're herding you, toward the pool, toward the truth you came to find. You think of the ninth, their silence, their absence. Did they face this, too, drawn to this sanctum, this glow, this curse? The hum screams, the air thick with ash and blood, and you know you're not just in a temple. You're in its heart, and it's beating. Did the forest take the ninth, or did they give themselves to it, lured by a power they couldn't resist? And as the shadows close in, the pool's glow pulling at your soul. Do you fight, or do you dive in, knowing the truth might cost you everything? The temple's heart pulses around you, its black stone walls slick with moisture that gleams in the eerie blue glow of the pool. The air is heavy, choked with the sharp tang of incense and the sickly sweet rot of blood and ash, clinging to your skin like a fever. Your gladius lies useless in your hand, its blade slick from striking shadows that hissed but didn't bleed. The pool's light pulls at you, its surface still as glass, reflecting the mosaic ceiling spirals and stars. But beneath it, you see them, Roman armor, bones, glints of gold. The Ninth Legion's remnants, trapped in a silent grave. The hum, that relentless chant, roars in your skull, no longer words but a force, urging you to step closer, to touch the water, to surrender. The shadows lean sinuous, their cold eyes glinting like wet stone, circle tighter, their growls vibrating through the chamber, not attacking, but herding, pushing you toward the pool's edge. Marcus, the Gaul mercenary, fights on, his dagger flashing, but his movements are sluggish, his face gray with something worse than fear, resignation. You're a tyro, a raw recruit in the Legio IX Hispana, and the temple isn't just a place, it's a predator, and you're its prey. Your boots slip on the warm mosaic tiles, the carved warriors beneath your feet seeming to shift, their painted faces watching. You scramble back, your heart pounding so hard it hurts, and the pool's glow flares, its light searing your eyes. The shadows lunge, not at you, but at Marcus, their forms blurring, half solid, half mist. He swings his dagger, shouting a Gaulish curse, but it's like cutting air, and one shadow swipes its claws, because they're claws, not hands, raking his arm. Blood sprays, black in the blue light, and Marcus stumbles, his dagger clattering to the floor. You scream his name, your voice raw, but the hum drowns it, the chant a tidal wave in your mind. You raise your gladius, desperate to help, but the shadows turn, their eyes locking on you, and you freeze, the weight of their gaze like chains. Run, Tyro! Marcus gasps, clutching his arm, blood dripping between his fingers. But there's nowhere to run. The passage you entered is gone, the walls smooth, the temple sealing you in like a tomb. The pool's edge is inches away, its glow warm against your skin, promising answers, promising rest. You think of the ninth, the 5,000 men who vanished, their armor glinting beneath the water. Did they stand here, too, facing these shadows, lured by this light? You think of the historians, their vague tales of ambush or starvation, and the archaeologists, their empty digs in Scotland's glens. They missed this sanctum, this curse, this truth. But knowing doesn't help. It traps you, because the truth is hungry, and it's calling your name. You stumble toward Marcus, your boots splashing in shallow water that seeped from the pool, its surface no longer still, but rippling, like something's moving beneath. The shadows back off, their growl softening, but their eyes never leave you, circling, waiting. You grab Marcus's good arm, pulling him up, his weight heavy, his breath ragged. "We're not dying here," you say more to yourself than him, but your voice shakes, and he laughs, a bitter, broken sound. "You don't decide that, Tyro," he says, blood staining his tunic. "This place does." You want to argue, to cling to Rome's discipline, but the hum spikes, the air thick with ash and fear, and you know he's right. The temple's alive, it's will stronger than yours, and it's not letting you go. You drag Marcus away from a pool toward the far wall, hoping for a crack, a door, anything. The mosaic floor is slick, the tiles warm, almost pulsing, and you notice new carvings, snakes, not kelp but older, their scales etched with a precision that feels wrong, like they're watching. The walls are smooth, no exit, but the blue glow follows, the pool's light stretching, bending, like it's alive. You press your hand to the stone, desperate, and feel a faint vibration, like a heartbeat, syncing with the hum. Your skin crawls, and you think of the prisoner's words, "The forest will swallow you," and the spirals, the blood, the bones. Is this the forest's heart, or something deeper, something the Caledonians woke and couldn't control? Marcus slumps against the wall, his face pale, his blood pooling on the floor. "Leave me," he says, his voice weak but sharp. "You're not fast enough for both of us." You shake your head, anger flaring, and snap, "Shut up, Gaul. We're getting out." But your bravado feels hollow, because the shadows are moving again, their growls low, their eyes glinting, and the pool's ripples are stronger, waves lapping at the mosaic. You think of the Druids, their rituals of blood and shadow, whispered by Marcus back at camp. Did they summon these things? Or were they here before, waiting for Rome to stumble in? You think of the ninth silence, the void in history, and realize you're not just fighting for your life. You're fighting to not be erased. You pull Marcus up, ignoring his protests, and scan the chamber, your eyes stinging from the glow. There's a shadow on the wall, not from the pool, but carved, a faint outline of a door, its edges etched with snakes. You stumble toward it, dragging Marcus, and press your hand to the stone, feeling for a seam. The hum roars, the chant a scream, and the shadows lunge, their claws scraping the floor. You push hard, and the stone gives, grinding open to reveal a narrow tunnel, its air cold and damp, smelling of earth and salt. You shove Marcus through, your gladius raised, and glance back, the pool's glow blinding. The shadows inches away, their eyes burning with a hunger that's not just physical. You dive into the tunnel, the stone slamming shut behind you, muffling the growls, but not the hum, which follows, softer but relentless. The darkness is near total, the blue glow gone, and you fumble forward, Marcus's weight dragging at you. Your boots slip on wet stone, the tunnel sloping downward, and the air grows colder, the salt smells stronger, like you're nearing the sea. You think of Caledonia's coast, miles from here, and wonder if the temple's tunnels stretch that far, or if this is another trick, leading you deeper into its jaws. Your hand brushes the wall, its carving sharp, more snakes, more eyes, and something new, a figure with a staff, its face blank, like it's been erased. Your heart races, and you think of the archaeologists, their fruitless searches, their theories of ambush or starvation. They never found this, because it's not meant to be found. Marcus coughs, his blood warm against your arm, and you stop, easing him to the ground. His face is gray, his eyes dull, but he grabs your wrist, his grip surprisingly strong. "Listen," he says, his voice a rasp. "This isn't their temple. It's older. The Druids, they didn't build it. They woke it." You want to ask what he means, but the hum surges, the tunnel vibrating, and you hear it, a faint growl, not behind but ahead, like the shadows have found another way. Your blood freezes, and you think of the prisoner, his smile, his warning. Did the Caledonians lure the ninth here, or were they victims too, caught in a trap they couldn't escape? You pull Marcus up, your muscles burning, and stumble forward, the tunnel narrowing, the salt smell overwhelming. The growl comes again closer, and you see a faint light, not blue, but red, like fire, flickering at the tunnel's end. Your heart leaps, hope warring with fear, and you move faster. Marcus's weight, a burden you refuse to drop. The tunnel opens into a small chamber, the red light coming from a brazier, its flames low but steady, casting shadows on walls carved with scenes of sacrifice, men, women, bound and bleeding, their faces twisted in agony. Your stomach churns, and you realize the bones here aren't old. They're fresh, some still glistening with flesh. Marcus collapses, his breath shallow, and you kneel, your gladius trembling, the growl echoing from the tunnel behind. The brazier's light reveals a stone altar, its surface stained with blood, and on it a single object, a gold torque, its ends shaped like snakes, glinting like it's alive. You think of the pool, the armor, the knife, and realize this is no coincidence. The torque is a key, a relic, a piece of the puzzle, but touching it feels like signing your death warrant. The hum is softer here, but the growl is louder, and you see them, eyes cold and glinting, emerging from the tunnel, not rushing but stalking, like they know you're trapped. Marcus grabs your hand, his voice a whisper. "Don't take it," he says, blood bubbling at his lips. It's what they want. But the torque calls, like the pool, promising answers, promising power. You stand, your gladius raised, the brazier's heat warm against your back. The shadows stop, their eyes fixed on the torque, not you. And you realize Marcus is right. They want it, need it, like it's the heart of this place. You think of the ninth, their silence, their absence. Did they find this chamber, this relic, and pay the price? The growl shifts, a chorus now, and the air thickens, the hum returning, chanting a name. Not yours, not Rome's, but something older, something that makes your blood run cold. Did the temple take the ninth, or did they give themselves to it, bound by a curse they couldn't break? And as the shadows step closer, their claws glinting in the firelight, do you grab the torque and face the truth, or do you leave it, knowing the price of survival might be your soul? You're still here with me, aren't you? I'm genuinely thrilled about that. If something in this story has caught your eye, or if there's a question dancing in your mind right now, drop it in the comments. I'm dying to hear your thoughts. Now, let's not keep you waiting any longer. Take a deep breath, get comfy, and let's dive into the next chapter of this journey. Things are about to get even wilder. The brazier's flickering red light casts jagged shadows across the blood-stained chamber. Its heat, a cruel mockery of warmth against the icy dread gripping your chest. The air is thick with a metallic tang of fresh blood and the sour reek of charred flesh, seeping from the glistening bones piled around the stone altar. Your gladius trembles in your hand, its blade slick with sweat and the strange, mist-like residue from striking the shadows that stalk you. Those shadows lean sinuous, their cold eyes glinting like polished stone, stand motionless at the chamber's edge, their growls a low, guttural hum that blends with the temple's relentless chant, vibrating through the black stone walls. The gold torque on the altar, its snake-shaped ends gleaming, pulses with an unnatural warmth, calling you, daring you to touch it. Marcus, the Gaul mercenary, slumps against the floor, his blood pooling beneath him, his warning, "Don't take it." Barely a whisper over the hum's deafening roar. You're a tyro, a raw recruit in the Ninth Legion. And this temple, this cursed heart of Caledonia, isn't just a place. It's a will older than Rome. And it's decided you're not leaving. Your boots stick to the floor, the mosaic tiles warm and slick with blood. They're carved spirals, seeming to writhe in the firelight. The shadow's eyes are fixed on the torque, not you. Their growls softening, like they're waiting for you to make the choice that seals your fate. You step back, your heart pounding, the gladius heavy in your grip. The torque's glow feels alive. It snakes coiling in your mind, whispering promises of answers about the ninth, the 5,000 men who vanished, the silence that erased them. But Marcus's words, his blood, his fear, scream trap. You think of the pool in the last chamber, its hypnotic glow, the Roman armor trapped beneath. Was that the ninth's end, lured to their doom by a relic like this? You think of the historians, their vague tales of ambush, and the archaeologists, their empty digs. They never found this chamber, this torque, because it's not meant to be found. It's meant to consume. The hum spikes a jagged chant that makes your teeth ache, and you feel it, a presence, not the shadows but deeper, in the walls, the air, the blood beneath your feet. It's not Caledonian, not Druid, but older, something the forest itself fears. You glance at Marcus, his face gray, his eyes fluttering, and realize he's fading fast. Get up, you say, your voice cracking, but he shakes his head, blood bubbling at his lips. Go, Tyro, he rasps. It wants you, not me. You want to drag him, to refuse, but the shadows move, their claws scraping the stone, and you know he's right. The torque's glow flares, the hum roaring, and you feel a pull, like the temple's reaching into your soul, urging you to take it, to become part of its story. You step toward the altar, not because you want to, but because your body moves without you. The torque's light warm against your skin. Your hand hovers over it, the snake's eyes glinting, and you see flashes, faces not yours, not Roman, but painted with woad, screaming, bleeding, burning. The ninth, or the Caledonians, or something older, all bound to this place, this relic. You jerk your hand back, heart racing, and the shadows snarl, their eyes narrowing, like you've insulted them. Marcus coughs, a wet, broken sound, and grabs your ankle, his grip weak but desperate. Don't, he says, his voice barely audible. It's not gold. It's them. You don't know what he means, but the fear in his eyes, the blood pooling around him, is enough to make you listen. You turn away from the torque, your gladius raised, and face the shadows, their forms shifting, half solid, half mist. Come on then, you shout, your voice raw, more bravado than courage. The shadows pause, their growls softening, and for a moment, you think you won. But then the brazier flares, its flames surging, and the torque's glow pulses, sinking with the hum, the chant a scream that tears at your mind. The shadows lunge, not at you but at Marcus, their claws slashing, and he screams, a sound that cuts deeper than any blade. You swing your gladius, wild, desperate, and feel it connect, but there's no blood, no cry, just a hiss, like striking fog. Marcus goes limp, his eyes wide, his blood spreading, and you realize he's gone, not just dead but taken, like the scout, like the others. You stumble back, the altar at your heels, the torque's light blinding. The shadows circle, their eyes fixed on you now, their growls a chorus. And you know they're not here to kill, they're here to claim. You think of the ninth, the silence that followed their name, and the prisoner's warning, the forest will swallow you. Is this the forest's will, or the temple's, or something older? Something that lured the ninth to their doom? You think of the pool, the bones, the armor, and realize the torque is the key, the heart, the curse. You could take it, carry it, learn the truth, but at what cost? Your hand twitches, the gladius slipping in your grip, and you feel the temple's presence, not in the shadows, but in you, whispering, urging, commanding. You kick the altar hard, and the torque wobbles, its glow flickering. The shadows snarl, their claws scraping, and you swing your gladius, not at them, but at the torque, aiming to shatter it. The blade connects, and a sound erupts, not metal, but a scream, human and not, shaking the chamber. The torque doesn't break, but its glow dims, the hum faltering. And the shadows freeze, their eyes wide, like you've hurt them. You swing again, desperate, and the brazier topples, its flames spilling, igniting the blood-soaked floor. Fire spreads, fast, unnatural, and the shadows recoil, their growls turning to hisses. You grab Marcus's dagger, its blade still warm, and run, not toward the tunnel but deeper, where the firelight reveals a new passage, its mouth carved with snakes, their eyes glinting like the torques. You dive in, the flames roaring behind you, the hum a fractured wail, the shadows growls fading but not gone. The passage is narrow, the air cold and damp, smelling of salt and earth, like the seas buried here. Your boots slip on slick stone, and you fall, catching yourself on the wall, its carving sharp. More snakes, more figures, their faces blank, erased. Your chest heaves, your lungs burning, and you realize you're alone. Marcus gone, the legion gone, just you and the temple. Its will pressing down, heavier than ever. You think of the archaeologists, their empty digs, their theories of ambush or starvation. They miss this because it's not a place, it's a force, a hunger, and you're its meal. The passage slopes upward, the salt smells stronger, and you see light, not fire but daylight, faint and gray, filtering through cracks above. Your heart leaps, hope warring with fear, and you move faster, the dagger clutched tight, its blade stained with Marcus's blood. The hum is softer, the chant broken, but you feel it still, in your bones, your blood, whispering a name. Not yours, not Rome's, but hers, the temple's, the thing that woke when the night marched in. You think of a torque, left behind, its glow dimmed, but not dead. Did you break its hold, or just delay it? The passage widens, the light brighter, and you see an exit, a jagged hole leading to the forest, the fog, the world above. You climb, your hands scraping on rough stone, and pull yourself out, collapsing into the mud. The fog is thinner here, the trees sparser, but the forest is still a cage, its branches clawing the sky. You hear nothing, no legion, no screams, just the wind, carrying a faint hum, like the temples still watching. You think of the ninth, their silence, their absence. Did they fight, like you, or did they take the torque, becoming part of the curse? You think of the prisoner, his smile, his warning, and realize he wasn't talking about the forest. He was talking about this place, this thing. The dagger in your hand feels heavy, like it's carrying Marcus's blood, his fear, his truth. You stand, your legs shaking, the fog curling around you, cold and greedy. The temple's entrance is gone, hidden by stone or magic, but you feel its eyes, not the shadows but the thing they serve, watching, waiting. You think of Rome, its marble and glory, and wonder if you'll ever see it, or if you're already marked, like the ninth, doomed to vanish. The hum lingers, soft but persistent, and you know it's not over. The torque, the shadows, the temple, they're still here, still hungry. Did you escape, or did the temple let you go, knowing you'll carry its curse? And as the fog thickens, the forest closing in, do you run, hoping to find Rome? Or do you turn back, knowing the truth is still down there, waiting to claim you? The fog wraps around you like a shroud. It's cold, damp fingers seeping through your tattered tunic and chilling the sweat on your skin. Your boots sink into the Caledonian mud, each step a struggle against the forest's greedy pull, and the air smells of wet earth and decay, sharp with a faint metallic tang, like blood or the memory of it. Marcus's dagger, clutched tight in your hand, is slick with his blood, its weight a reminder of the temple you just escaped, its black stone walls and pulsing torque still burning in your mind. The hum, that relentless chant, lingers in your ears, softer now, but never gone, whispering through the trees like a ghost that won't let you go. You're a tyro, a raw recruit of the 9th Legion, and the forest stretches endlessly before you, its gnarled branches twisting into shapes that look too much like claws. The temple's eyes, those cold, glinting shadows, are behind you, but you feel them still, not in the fog, but in your blood, as if you carried its curse out with you. Rome feels like a dream, and you're not sure if you're running toward it or deeper into the dark. Your breath comes in ragged gasps, visible in the icy air, and your legs tremble, muscles screaming from dragging Marcus, from fighting shadows, from climbing out of that buried hell. The dagger's blade catches faint glints of daylight filtering through the fog, and you notice the blood Marcus's may be yours, drying in dark streaks. You think of him, his gray face, his warning about the torque, his scream as the shadows took him. You left him there, in that chamber of bones and fire, and the guilt sits heavy, like a stone in your chest. You want to believe he's gone, free from the temple's grip, but the hum, soft and insistent, suggests otherwise. Did it take him, like it took the 9th, the 5,000 men who vanished without a trace? You think of their armor in the pool, their silence in history, and wonder if you're next, already half erased. You stumble forward, the forest floor uneven, littered with roots and stones that snag your boots. The fog is thinner here, but it doesn't help. The trees are denser, their trunks black and slick, like they're sweating blood. You hear a rustle, not wind, not beast, but something deliberate, like footsteps pacing you. Your heart lurches and you spin, dagger raised, expecting painted Caledonians or those shadowed claws. But there's nothing, just fog and trees, their branches swaying in a breeze you don't feel. The hum pulses, low and steady, and you realize it's not coming from the temple. It's here in the forest, in the ground, in you. You think of the prisoner's words, the forest will swallow you, and the spirals, the blood, the eyes. Was he warning you about the temple? Or this, the endless green maze that feels alive, hungry? You keep moving, because standing still feels like surrender. The dagger's weight grounds you, but it's not enough to shake the fear clawing at your gut. You think of Rome, its marble temples and roaring crowds, and try to hold on to it, but the forest blurs it, replacing it with fog and shadow. Your hand brushes a tree, its bark rough and warm, and you pull back, noticing a carving, a spiral, fresh, its edges wet with sap or blood. Your stomach twists, and you look around, expecting eyes. But the fog is empty, silent. Too silent. No birds, no wind, just the hum, weaving through the trees like a lullaby you can't ignore. Ever have that moment when you're alone, and the quiet is so loud it's deafening? That's you, except the quiet's a predator, and you're its prey. You push on, the path, if you can call it that, narrowing. The trees so close their branches scrape your armor, tugging at your cloak like hands. The air grows colder, the metallic tang stronger, and you notice the ground, churned, like a battle happened here, strewn with broken arrows, Roman and Celt, and a shred of red cloth, the kind your legion wears. Your heart stops. You kneel, your fingers trembling as you touch it, and find it wet, not with water, but blood, fresh and warm. You drop it, scrambling back, and see more signs, a dented helmet, a snapped pilum, a handprint in the mud. Too big to be human. Your breath hitches, and you think of the scout, his babbling about not human shapes, and Marcus, his warnings about the forest something else. Is this the 9th's trail, or a lure, leading you deeper? You stand, dagger raised, and hear it, a low, guttural growl, not from the trees, but from the ground, vibrating through your boots. The hum spikes, its rhythm jagged, and you feel a pressure, like the forest is breathing, watching, judging. You spin, searching the fog, and see them. Eyes not the temple's cold glints, but warmer, amber, like embers, flickering in pairs, 3, for moving low and fast. Your blood freezes, and you think of the shadows, their claws, their hunger. But these are different, more solid. Their growls deeper, like beasts, not spirits. You back away, your boot catching on a root, and nearly fall, the dagger slipping in your sweaty hand. The eyes stop their glow steady, and you realize they're not attacking. They're waiting, like the shadows, like the torque, like the temple itself. You turn and run, the forest blurring, the hum roaring in your ears. Branches snap against your face, drawing blood, and the mud sucks at your boots, slowing you. The growls follow, not chasing, but pacing, their rhythm matching the hum, like they're part of it. You think of the ninth, their march into this forest, their silence. Did they run, like you, only to find no escape? You think of the archaeologists, their empty digs, their theories of ambush or starvation, and laugh, a bitter, broken sound. They missed this forest, this hum, this curse. You stumble into a clearing, the fog parting, and stop, gasping, your chest heaving. The ground is scorched, a circle of ash and bone, and in its center, a single stone, carved with a spiral, its lines pulsing with faint red light, like a heartbeat. Your knees buckle, and you drop, the dagger clattering beside you. The eyes emerge from the fog, not shadows but beasts, wolves, or something like them, their fur black and matted, their jaws too wide, their eyes too human. They circle the clearing, their growls soft, almost mournful, and you realize they're not here to kill, they're here to guard. The stone's light pulses, syncing with the hum, and you feel it, a presence, not the beasts but deeper, in the ash, the earth, the spiral. You think of the torque, its snake eyes, its call, and realize this is no coincidence. The temple, the forest, the stone, they're connected, parts of a whole, a will that swallowed the ninth and wants you next. You crawl to the stone, your hand trembling, and touch it, its surface warm, almost alive. The hum screams, the chant a name, not yours, not Rome's, but hers, the thing that woke when the ninth marched in. You see flashes, men, Roman and Celt, screaming, bleeding, their faces dissolving into fog. The ninth marching, falling, their armor sinking into mud. The prisoner, his smile, his eyes, not human but hers. Your head throbs, and you pull back, the dagger in your hand, its blade glinting in the stone's light. You want to smash it, to break the spiral, the hum, the curse. But the beasts growl, their eyes narrowing, and you know they'll tear you apart before you can. You stand, your legs shaking, and face the beasts, their jaws dripping with something black, not blood but thicker, like tar. The hum is everywhere, the forest alive with it, the trees bending, their branches reaching. You think of Marcus, his blood, his warning, and realize he knew not everything, but enough to fear this place, this thing. You think of the ninth, their silence, their absence, and wonder if they fought, like you, or surrendered, drawn to the spiral, the torque, the truth. The beasts step closer, their growls a chorus, and you raise the dagger, not to fight, but to defy, to prove you're still you, not the temples, not the forests. The stone's light flares, red and hot, and the hum becomes a wail, shaking the ground. The beasts pause, their eyes wide, and you feel it, a crack, not in the stone, but in the air, like the forest is splitting. You think of Rome, its logic, its strength, and cling to it, but the forest laughs, the hum mocking your hope. You think of the prisoner, his words, his smile, and realize he wasn't warning you. He was inviting you to this moment, this choice. The beasts lunge, not at you but at the stone, their claws scraping, and the light pulses, the hum scream, the forest closing in. You swing the dagger, wild, desperate, and feel it connect, not with flesh, but with something else, something that screams back, not in pain, but in rage. You fall, the dagger slipping, the stone's light blinding. The beasts circle, their eyes burning, and you realize they're not guarding the stone, they're guarding you, keeping you here, for her, for it, for the thing that took the ninth. You think of the temple, the torque, the pool, and know it's not over. The curse, the truth, it's in you, carried out alive. Did the ninth escape, only to carry the forest's will with them, erasing themselves? And as the light consumes you, the beast growls a lullaby. Do you fight, clinging to Rome, or do you let go, knowing the forest has already claimed you? The forest's pulse thunders in your ears, a relentless hum that's no longer just sound but a force, clawing at your mind, weaving through the fog like a serpent. You're sprawled in the scorched clearing, the mud cold and slick beneath you, your hands scraped raw from falling. The stone at the center, carved with that pulsing red spiral, glows like a dying ember, its light searing your eyes even as you squint against it. The dagger, Marcus's dagger, stained with his blood, lies inches away, its blade glinting in the unnatural glow, a fragile tether to the world you're losing. The beasts, those wolf-like things with two human eyes and tar-dripping jaws, circle the clearing, their growls low and mournful, not attacking but guarding, their amber gazes fixed on you, not the stone. The air is thick with the stench of ash and blood, laced with a bitter, metallic tang that coats your tongue, like the forest itself is bleeding. You're a tyro, a raw recruit of the Ninth Legion, and the realization hits you like a spear. You didn't escape the temple. You carried it with you, its curse now in your blood, its hum in your bones, and the forest is closing in, ready to swallow you whole. Your chest heaves, each breath a struggle against the fog's damp weight, and your body aches, muscles screaming, skin torn from branches, armor dented and heavy. You scramble for the dagger, your fingers slipping in the mud, and clutch it, its cold metal grounding you, though barely. The beasts don't move, their eyes unblinking, and you feel their patience, their certainty, like they know you're already theirs. The spirals like pulses, sinking with a hum, and you see flashes, Roman soldiers, their faces pale, their armor sinking into mud. Caledonians, painted and screaming, their blood pooling in spirals, and Marcus, his gray, eyes wide, his blood mixing with ash. The images burn, not just in your mind but in your chest, like the forest is writing its story on you, claiming you as it claimed the ninth. You force yourself to stand, your legs trembling, the dagger raised, though you know it's useless against these things, this place. The fog swirls, thicker now, curling around the trees like hands, and the branches sway, though there's no wind. You think of Rome, its marble streets and roaring crowds, but it's a fading dream, drowned by the forest's green and gray. You think of a ninth, the 5,000 men who marched into this wilderness and vanished, their silence a void in history. Were they here, in this clearing, facing the stone, these beasts? Did they fight, or did they surrender, drawn to the spiral's call? You think of the archaeologists, their futile digs, their theories of ambush or starvation, and a bitter laugh escapes you, raw and jagged. They missed this stone, this hum, this curse, because it's not a place. It's a will older than Rome, and it's chosen you. You step back, away from a stone, its red light flaring, the hum spiking into a wail that makes your head throb. The beasts growl, their jaws dripping black, and you notice their forms shifting, less solid, more mist, like the shadows in the temple, their eyes burning brighter, not amber now, but red, mirroring the spiral. Your heart stops, and you realize they're not beasts, not shadows, but something else, something tied to the stone, the torque, the pool. You think of Marcus's warning, it's them, and understand, too late, that the curse isn't in the relics or the temple. It's in the forest, the earth, the air, and now in you. You swing the dagger, not at the beasts but at the stone, desperate to break it, to silence the hum. But your arm freezes, the hum a command, holding you like chains. The fog parts, sudden and unnatural, revealing the clearing's edges. Trees, yes, but also shapes, carved into their trunks, not spirals but figures, human and not, their faces blank, their arms raised. You stumble, your boot catching on a bone, human, fresh, and see more, scattered across the clearing, half buried in ash, Roman and Celt, their armor dented, their skulls grinning. Your stomach churns, and you think of the temple's bones, the pool's armor, the ninth silence. This is their grave, or one of them, and you're standing in it, the hum chanting a name, not yours, not Rome's, but hers, the thing that woke when the ninth marched in. You think of the prisoner, his eerie smile as words, the forest will swallow you, and realize he wasn't a prisoner. He was a guide, leading you here to this moment, this choice. You turn, the dagger trembling, and see a new shape in the fog, not a beast, but a figure, cloaked in tattered cloth, its face hidden, its hands clutching a staff carved with snakes. Your blood freezes, and you think of the temple's carvings, the blank-faced figure, the druids Marcus feared. The figure doesn't move, but you feel its gaze, not eyes but a weight, pressing into your soul. The beasts step back, their growls softening, like they're bowing to this thing, this priest, this avatar. The hum softens, the chant clearer, and you catch words, not Latin, not Celt, but older, like stones grinding, like blood spilling. You want to scream, to run, but your legs are lead, the dagger heavy, and the figure raises its staff, pointing not at you, but at the stone, its spiral glowing brighter, red as blood. You step toward the stone, not by choice, but by force, the hum pulling you. The figures will stronger than yours. Your hand hovers over the spiral, its heat burning your skin, and you see more flashes, the ninth marching, their faces dissolving into fog, the torque, its snakes coiling, its glow consuming. The prisoner, his eyes not human, but hers, the thing that lives in the forest. Your head screams, your vision blurring, and you think of Marcus, his blood, his fear, and realize he knew not everything, but enough to die fighting. You think of the archaeologists, their empty theories, and know they'll never find this, because it's not meant to be found. It's meant to be lived, to be suffered, to be claimed. You swing the dagger, not at the stone, but at the figure, your arm shaking, your voice a raw shout. The blade connects, but there's no flesh, no blood, just a hiss, like cutting mist. And the figure vanishes, the fog swallowing it. The beasts snarl, their eyes flaring, and the stone's light pulses, the hum a roar, shaking the ground. You fall, the dagger slipping, and crawl back, your hands clawing at the mud, the bones, the ash. The beasts lunge, not at you but at the stone, their claws scraping, and the spiral cracks, a thin fracture, red light spilling like blood. The hum wails, the forest trembling, and you feel it, a tear, not in the stone but in you, like the curse is breaking or tightening. You scramble to your feet, the dagger lost, your hands empty, and run, the fog parting, the trees bending away. The beasts don't follow, their growls fading, but the hum stays, soft and persistent, like a heartbeat in your blood. You think of the ninth, their march, their silence, and wonder if they fought, like you, or surrendered, becoming part of the forest story. You think of the temple, the torque, the pool, and know they're still here, still alive, still waiting. The clearing fades behind you, the fog thickening, and you see light, daylight, faint and gray, through the trees. Your heart leaps, hope a fragile thing, and you push forward, your body screaming, your mind fraying, the hum whispering, always whispering. You break through the trees, collapsing into a glade, the fog thinner, the air cleaner, the hum softer, almost gone. The forest is still, the beasts gone, the spirals light a memory. You lie there, gasping, the mud cold against your back, and see the sky, gray heavy, but real, not the temple's carved stars. You think of Rome, its marble and glory, and cling to it, but the forest's weight lingers, its curse in your blood, your breath, your fear. You think of the ninth, their absence, and realize you're not free. You're marked, like they were, carrying the forest's truth, its hunger. You think of the prisoner, his smile, and know he's still out there, or in you, guiding, waiting. You stand, your body shaking, the forest silent but watching. The hum is faint, a whisper now, but it's enough to remind you it's not over. The ninth didn't die. They became something else, something the forest keeps. You think of the archaeologists, their empty digs, and know they'll never find you, because you're not lost, you're claimed. The fog curls around you, gentle now, like a lover, and you walk, not toward Rome, but away, the forest's path clear, it's your own. Did you escape, or did the forest let you go, knowing you'll carry its curse forever? And as the trees close in, the hum a lullaby in your blood. Do you keep running, hoping to find light, or do you stop, knowing the forest has already won? You stumble through the Caledonian forest, the fog a thin veil now, its damp touch lingering on your skin like a ghost that won't let go. Your boots, caked with mud, drag through the underbrush, each step heavier than the last, as if the earth itself is pulling you back. The air is cold, sharp with the scent of pine and decay, but the metallic tang of blood, yours, Marcus's, the ninth's, clings to your tongue, a reminder of the temple, the stone, the spiral. The hum, that relentless chant that haunted you through the dark, is faint, a whisper in your blood, but it's still there, tying you to the forest, to the curse you thought you'd escaped. Your hands are empty, the dagger lost in the chaos of the clearing, and your tunic is torn, stained with ash and sweat. You're a tyro, a raw recruit of the Legio IX Hispana, but the legion is gone, swallowed by the forest, and you're alone, walking a path that feels less like salvation and more like surrender. Your journey began in the cold dawn of a Roman camp, the 9th Legion's banners proud against the Caledonian sky. You marched with 5,000 men, their armor clanking, their voices brash, into a forest that seemed to breathe, to watch. The fog hid the Caledonians, their painted faces and silent spears, but it was the hum, the spirals, the blood-smeared signs that broke you. You saw men vanish, scouts, soldiers, Marcus, claimed by shadows with claws and eyes like stone. The temple, its black stones and glowing pool, was no sanctuary but a trap, its torque and spiral stone pulsing with a will older than Rome. You fought, ran, defied, but each step drew you deeper, not toward escape, but toward truth, a truth that cost Marcus's life, the 9th their name, and you, perhaps, your soul. Now in this quiet glade, the forest's heart still beating, you wonder if you're free, or if you've become part of its story, another ghost in its endless tale. The trees thin, their branches no longer clawing, but swaying, almost gentle, as if guiding you. The fog lifts, revealing a sky heavy with clouds, gray but real, not the temple's carved stars. Your breath catches, hope a fragile spark, but it's tempered by the hum, soft and persistent, like a heartbeat you can't outrun. You think of Rome, its marble temples and bustling forums, but it's distant, a memory blurred by the forest's green and gray. You think of the 9th, their march, their silence, and the archaeologists who'll dig centuries later, finding nothing but tiles and coins, never this. This glade, this hum, this curse. Your hand brushes your chest, expecting scars, but your skin is smooth, like the temple, the beasts, the spiral were a dream. But the hum says otherwise, its whisper a chain, binding you to the forest's will. You walk, the ground firmer now, a path emerging, not Roman, not Celt, but natural, worn by something older. The hum fades, almost gone, and you hear new sounds, birds, faint and cautious, the rustle of leaves, the trickle of a stream. Your heart lifts, but your body is heavy, your legs trembling, your vision swimming. You think of Marcus, his scarred face, his warnings about the Druids, the forest, something else. He knew not everything, but enough to die fighting, to save you, if only for a moment. You think of the prisoner, his red hair, his eerie smile, and realize he wasn't guiding you to death, but to this moment, this path. Was he human, or hers? The thing that lives in the forest, the thing that took the ninth? The stream appears, its water clear, reflecting the sky, and you kneel, your hands shaking as you scoop it, the cold shocking your skin. You drink, the taste clean but tinged with iron, like the forest's blood runs through it. Your reflection stares back, gaunt, eyes hollow, not the boy who marched with the ninth, but someone else, someone marked. You see a flicker, not your face, but another, painted with woad, eyes burning, then gone. You flinch, splashing the water, and stand, your heart racing. The hum is silent now, but you feel it in your pulse, your breath, a shadow that's not outside but within. You think of the torque, its snake eyes, its call, and wonder if you broke its hold or carried it with you, a seed planted deep. You follow the stream, the path widening, the forest opening to a ridge overlooking a valley. The fog is gone, the clouds parting, and you see it, smoke, faint, rising from a distant camp, Roman or Celt, you can't tell. Your heart leaps, but fear tempers it. Rome is out there, but so is the forest, its will stretching beyond the trees into you. You think of the ninth, their march, their end, and realize they didn't die. They changed, became part of the forest story, its curse. You think of the historians, their vague accounts, and the archaeologists, their empty hands, and know you're the last witness, the last voice, if you choose to speak. But the hum, though silent, lingers, a warning. Speak, and you'll carry it further, spreading its hunger. You sit on the ridge. The streams trickle, a soft counterpoint to your ragged breaths. The camp's smoke is a beacon, but you don't move, not yet. You think of the prisoner, his smile, his words. The forest will swallow you. And understand, finally, that he wasn't talking about death, but transformation. The ninth didn't vanish. They became the forest, the hum, the spiral. Their names erased, but they will bound to hers, the thing that woke when Rome marched in. You think of Marcus, his blood, his sacrifice, and wonder if he's there, in the trees, the fog, watching. You think of the torque, the pool, the stone, and know they're still out there, still alive, still waiting. You're free, but not untouched, the curse in your blood, a whisper you'll carry forever. You stand, your body aching, and look at the valley, the smoke, the path to Rome. You could go, find a legion, tell your story, but the hum's whisper stops you. What would you say? That the ninth was taken by shadows, by a temple, by a forest that lives? They'd call you mad, lock you away, and the forest would laugh, its curse spreading through your words. You think of the archaeologists, centuries from now, digging for truth, and know they'll find nothing, because the truth isn't in the ground. It's in you, in the hum, in the spiral. You take a step, not toward the camp, but along the ridge, the forest at your side, its trees quiet, almost respectful. You're not running, not fighting, but walking a path of your own, or hers. The sky darkens, clouds heavy with rain, and you feel a drop cold against your cheek, like the stream, like the temple's damp walls. The hum is gone, or so faint it's part of you, a heartbeat you'll never lose. You think of Rome, its glory, its logic, and let it go, not because you want to, but because you have to. The forest has claimed you, not as a corpse, but as a carrier, a witness, a voice. You think of the ninth, their silence, and know you're their echo, their shadow, their truth. You walk, the valley fading, the forest endless, and feel her, not the prisoner, not the figure, but the thing that lives here, her presence soft, almost kind, guiding you deeper, or nowhere at all. Thank you, truly, for joining me through every twist, every turn, every quiet moment, and every wild ride. It's been an adventure, and I'm grateful to have shared it with you. As we close this tale, I wish you a peaceful evening. May you have a restful night, deep sleep, and dreams filled with wonder and light. Rest well, you've earned it. And when you're ready for the next story, I'll be here, waiting to journey with you again. Before you go, if you love this tale, don't hesitate to leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I'm eager to hear what moved you, surprised you, or lingers long after the story ends. Until we meet again, good night, and see you in the next adventure.